Hi, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to discuss leg 3 of the 2025 Iron Butt Rally. No pressure, I'm in last place. Let's just finish this out. Stick around. Okay, same as the past, we have a 5 o'clock riders meeting, and this time we're presented with another set of legs, this one called the Champion's Legs. So breezing through that, as I understand it after the fact, what he did was he talked to several of the past winners and asked them about what their favorite bonuses were of anything, not just one single year or anything like that. So there was a James Owen loop, 4,584 miles, 1,590 bonus points with 5 locations. There was a Mike Brook loop, 4,667 miles, 1,626 points with 3 locations. A Wendy Crockett one with 3 locations, just under 3,934 miles, 1,365 points. Eric Jewell, and so on. So again, when I say I didn't have any pressure, I didn't have any pressure because I'm not in the top 10. I'm not even close, right? I'm in last place. So I don't have pressure to have a really good loop. The only pressure that I felt at all was I still have to complete whichever leg I choose, whichever loop I choose, I have to finish it. Gotta be a finisher. The attrition rate was really high in this one, so that was the only pressure I had. So I chose the Mike Brook loop, 4,667 miles, a bonus of 1,626 points. I was going to the Battery Point Lighthouse in California, Project Rollison in Colorado, and Logan's Pass in Glacier National Park. How cool is that? I'm going out west. I prefer to run out west, higher speed limits, less traffic, less congestion. So that's where I started. I dumped everything in base camp, started looking. This also gave me the option to go to Mount Rushmore. So that was going to be cool. Got everything loaded up, quickly built my leg, and off I went. Got a pretty early start, felt good about that, and was tooling along. Quick call, kind of my morning call with Steven Johnson. He was also, by luck, doing the same loop, and he was, I'm pretty sure he was out in front of me quite a bit. We went very different routes. I'm not sure how many people went to Mount Rushmore, but again, because I didn't have pressure to score a lot of points, I was going where I wanted to go, and Mount Rushmore was super cool. You see that stuff in a book, you see it in a magazine or whatever, in pictures, but you go through this little town and round the corner and bam, there it is. It was super cool. I pulled up to get my picture in front of the sign. There was a family there of 15 or so. I volunteered to take their picture. They in turn took mine. So that was really cool. I come out of there, picked up a few more little bonuses, and was making my way to Glacier National Park. Now, if you map this out yourself, you'll see I was in remote areas for a long time. There's several times that I got a little concerned about fuel. That's one of the big reasons almost everyone runs an ox tank. Not just for, I can always go 400 miles. It's because you get yourself into those locations where fuel is far to be found. So that's the reason for ox tanks. So started looping around, and I was headed toward Billings, Montana. Temperature was dropping. It was in the low 40s, and the temperature at Glacier National Park at my point of arrival time, based on how I was riding at that point, it was only going to be like in the 20s. I didn't think I could make it all the way there without stopping and taking a break. So I decided I was going to stop in Billings, Montana and take my break. It was kind of the last big city. I was able to find a hotel and it worked out pretty good. Part of your homework you need to do is going into Glacier National Park, you got to register your vehicle. Now I do have a park pass and that certainly helped, but you have to register your vehicle and it can save you time. As I understand it, if you're there before 7 a.m., you can kind of bypass and just go straight in. But I didn't. I took my break, got out early in the morning. It was still chilly, but cruising through Wyoming, Montana in that area, man, just absolutely beautiful. When I got into the park, there was another top 10 rider in front of me. I saw her, made my way up, got my picture, took a couple of extra pictures and headed out. At this point, I was feeling good. I had a good ride going, saw some really nice stuff. Glacier National Mountain Park is just beautiful. Regret that I have. I saw a sign for Kalispell, Montana, and I am right next door to Lincoln Seal's house. I would have really liked to just stop and say hi and thank him for all the work he's done with this in this community. But I'm on the clock and I can't. So I continue on. Some beautiful riding in that area, not terrible on traffic once I got out of the national park and was headed out. This is another thing that happened. The meal bonuses and the audible call-in daily bonuses, I use those things together. You had kind of a big window to get both of them done. I was a little afraid of wasting a bunch of time stopping at some mom and pop places and then find out that they didn't have a waiter or waitress staff and it was going to be a waste of my time. Once I settled into what worked and what I got points for, I stuck with it. So when I was there, I would do the rest of my route planning for the day or maybe the night, maybe look at hotels, maybe look at options, things like that. I was now headed for Portland, Oregon, the Voodoo Donut bonus. So that was my next point. And I was tooling along, making good time. 84, Interstate 84, you cool around a river. It's pretty nice for just an interstate. Wind was pretty high. There was a gas bonus. Man, I made a mental plan. I was going to stop and get this gas receipt bonus. I needed fuel. I needed water. I needed some Gatorade. I needed just a couple little things. Get them all at once. Man, the gas station was closed. It did spit out my receipt, so I was okay with that, but I couldn't get anything else, so I had to make a second stop to replenish my water and some of those things. Continued on. Again, I was wearing my Aero Stitch with no liner. I've taken my liner out. Temperatures were dropping as I got into Portland. Portland was another area. Not the best area. Not as bad as New York City, but not the greatest either. I had to leave the bike parked in a spot that, again, wasn't the best, but it was okay. Got my picture. And headed south. Now this is a mistake that I call it a mistake. My plan was to be at the Battery Point Lighthouse when they opened at I believe it was 10 a.m. There was an issue with some high tide stuff and the lighthouse was actually closed. The rally staff, like the day before, had sent out an email saying if you're going to that one, the rules kind of changed and what you were going to take your picture of, but we were restricted from 10 a.m. So I wanted to be there at 10 a.m. and get my picture. I didn't research how I got into that area well enough. I saw where I was going to exit I-5, thought this was going to be easy. I was less than 200 miles out, short, simple, 3-hour hike, I'll be fine. So I pulled in and took my next rest bonus. I did have some issues with most of my rest bonuses and meal bonuses. It seems to be maybe an iPhone issue, I'm not sure. If you started it and stopped it one time, there was no issues. But if you stopped it, and let's say you were 2 minutes too soon, you can clear it and then stop it again. Every time I did that, it would lock me out, and it would end, but would never give me the cumulative time that I needed to visually see. So I did most of that. I had to call in and have the rally master verify and fix my times. So a little bit frustrating, and I did that with most meals and the rest breaks. Again, it's either my phone or it's not the app, it's not the system. So the next morning, I get up, I get some fruit, get some coffee, I'm ready to go. Had the little issue, it's no big deal, and off I went. Beautiful, crisp, clear morning, and as I exited I-5 and started in toward the Battery Point Lighthouse, I realized it reminded me of Key West. Man, it was not a high-paced road. It was 45 miles an hour with lots of traffic. You could not make good time, and I lost a lot of time. Somewhere on that road, I passed 4, 5, 6 riders coming out. So they had all been there, I'm guessing, at the start. So I knew there was people in front of me. I don't know if there was anyone behind me, but there was definitely people in front of me. Instead of getting there at 10 a.m., I think I got there at like 1:30. So a big loss of time. So I got my Lighthouse picture, and I wasn't sure on the exit, but it had us coming back out the same way we came in. So again, very nice mountainous road with some twisties and a lot of fun, but a slow pace, not where you want to be on the clock. When I was exiting and almost to I-5 where things opened up, I decided to make a quick stop. Because of the slow pace, I didn't need fuel, I was good there. But I kind of needed a little bit of food, and I needed to use the restroom real quick. I went into a Burger King, which is something that I didn't see any gas stations closed. There was a Burger King. I ran in, and the guy kind of gave me crap about customers only. I don't know. So I ordered a couple hamburgers, those little dollar menu things, whatever, and threw them in my tank bag on my way out. I had not done that. I'm not a fan of that, but I did that this time. As I exited now and continued on my way, my next big mandatory checkpoint was in Colorado. I was headed across Oregon to Nevada, and I was going to pick up the Crater Lake, which is also a timed bonus. When I looked at my route and looked at adding Crater Lake in, it was literally 57 miles away. I could not pass that up. So added that in, went in and got that. That was nothing more than a what they call a passport stamp on my flag. Let me show you that. Okay, with that one, now I'm headed back across Oregon. And let me just tell you, this route, I think it's 130 or 140. It winds across the middle of nowhere, and it is just beautiful. But it's a slow pace. Speed limit is much slower than what I wanted to be doing on the interstate, but nothing I could do. Minimal traffic, so kind of had the interstate to yourself. Quick look on Spotwalla. Everyone was going the same way, so that was fine. Got into Winnemucca, picked up a couple fuel stop bonuses, some of those things, and continued on. There was a bonus at one of the casinos. I had to get a poker chip. So I found the casino, went inside. It didn't take long to walk around and ask people. They sent me up to a poker chip room, and the guy saw me and quickly said, it's $1. And I hadn't even spoke to him yet, so I knew there was other people that had been there in front of me. So I picked up my poker chip and continued on. I needed 4 more hours of mandatory rest, and I needed time off the bike. I wasn't able to get a meal bonus because I was afraid to stop at one of those mom and pop places and just waste 45 minutes to have it be denied because it didn't meet the criteria. That's on me, but I was able to eat those hamburgers I threw in my tank bag in. Not a fan of that, but it did help. So after getting my bonus there at the casino, I headed back in, and I was going to head toward Salt Lake City and then down toward Moab. I wasn't going as far as Moab, but I need to get down to I-70, Green River. I came up on the Bonneville Salt Flats rest area, and I thought it's a perfect place to take my break. I pulled in. There was some area with some picnic tables, and there was cars backed in. You could kind of tell they were there taking the same rest break I was going to. My MO had been grab my bike cover, lay it on the ground, kind of curl up in that, and out I went. I slept a couple hours, woke up pretty cold. I was sleeping on a concrete picnic table. Walked around a little bit, realized I was still early. So I took another approach, sitting down with my head on the table, and got another hour or so. Finished up my rest break there and headed off. Now the sun was coming up. I grabbed another bonus from the past that was added in there, grabbed another one, and around 6 headed toward like the Moab area. It's just beautiful. Out of Ogden, just beautiful area. So some really nice twisty roads, enjoyed that immensely. That was a lot of fun. Made it into I-70 and then headed across. Now this last mandatory bonus, the Project Rollison. Mike Brook did this, and it was 5 miles one way dirt road. Not that big a deal. Mike Brook did it on his Hayabusa. I'm a pretty good adventure rider. I've done a lot of dirt roads. I am on a K1600, but I'm not on a GSA, but it's 5 miles. So when I got there, the routing in wanted me to take a road that clearly said private. I made a call to my friend Steven Johnson. He told me what he did, so it made sense. Found my way without taking any private roads, and up this dirt road I went. I was kind of taking it easy, not that big a deal. The big K bike did overheat. It gave me a heat warning. I was more than 3/4 of the way up. I decided to stop and take a break. Here's that picture. So as I sat there, just a few minutes, let it cool down a little bit, I heard the rumble of some bikes. And down the hill comes Del Meyer and John Anderson. Del had this death look on her face. Man, she was concentrating to the fullest extent. I don't even know that she saw me. She was full concentration. John, he's still smiling like normal and gave me the "Hey Dave" and kept on going. So it was nice to see other people with bonuses like that. Del did very well, by the way. So after the bike cooled off, finished my trek up to the top, got that picture. On the way down, I decided I just started the bike, left it neutral, and took my time coming down. Never had another heating issue with the bike. With all my mandatory locations done now it's just a race back to the finish. Now, if I'm going to say there's pressure, I can't fail now. All right, I've already come this far. So in through Denver, there was 3 more bonuses that initially I'd planned to get, and then I thought, it's only a couple hundred points. I'm so far out of the points. I didn't mess with it. I fought traffic going up through the Denver area and that stuff. And in hindsight, if I would have gone up into Wyoming and grabbed those other points, it would have gotten me out of the traffic. So again, not that big a deal. Continued on, got my last meal bonus, enjoyed that, had some conversation with some old people. They didn't understand what I was doing. Just not the spot where you see a bunch of motorcyclists, I guess. I don't know. And I had one more night of riding, and I had some time to spare, so if I needed it, I was going to take it. Got my last bonuses, got a last gas stop, and I plan to arrive not out of fuel but empty as I'm loading it, and I don't want a full load of fuel just to carry it home in my van. Finished up, and this was a video that was sent to me by someone who took it with my arrival.
You tell it.
Well, I guess you know him. So.
Oh, it's Dave. All right, Dave. Woo! Woo! All right, Dave.
I can't tell you what it means to finish an event like this. I felt pretty good that I was going to get all my bonuses and I was going to be a true finisher. The relief on your face, the happiness and joy that all the spectators show is just incredible. It is a monumental task. I had a bunch of issues, but it was just an incredible ride, and I would do the same thing again and never bat an eye. Do I wish I would have scored better? Absolutely. I tried to score better. I made my mistakes, but it was an incredible ride. The journey was amazing. I saw some incredible places. I rode on some really nice roads, and I had a great time and met some good people along the way. As you know, or probably know, I finished 23rd. I think most of that was due to attrition rate. It's not because I scored really well, but I did. I bettered my score. In 23, I was a bronze, and 25, I was silver. So I'm going to try it again in 27. They did announce there'll be a 27. I'll leave that there. I'm going to do a couple more videos. I've had a lot of questions about the bike, what I thought about the bike. I want to do one about some equipment that I used, what worked, what didn't work. Some of those things, some people have already commented, my ox tank is off. Just cleaning stuff up, man. Just cleaning stuff up. So there'll be a couple more videos, but that's it for leg 3 in the 2025 Iron Butt Rally. I appreciate you watching. Have a great day. Be safe.